Hey guys, Luke here, and today we're going to be camping out in the cold Canadian winter. We're going to be using a sleeping bag rated for 5 Celsius, but it's going to get down to -10. We're going to be pushing it as far as we can go, and while we're at it, we're going to cook some good food and have some fun. So if you're with me, come tag along. Well guys, I've been looking around the woods and I can't find a spot that's really spectacular. So we're going to take what we get and we're going to use this little nice tree that's on a slant to build a nice shelter off of it. It's going to keep us warm and keep us dry throughout the night. The sun's dying down. I still need to make some lunch. I still need to make some dinner, and I want to have all my wood prepared for the whole night before the sun goes down. So as I spent about probably 15 minutes clearing out this place, I finally got to underneath where I want to set up my mattress, and out of nowhere there's this big metal piece that's just sticking up. And the worst part about it is you can push this off to the side maybe, but there's this metal piece that's sticking out right from underneath the ground, perfectly right where I wanted to put my mattress and set my tarp up. That's just how things go sometimes. You're out in the middle of nowhere. You spend 15 minutes digging a ditch to set up your mattress, and in the middle of the woods there's a little piece of metal sticking out from the ground. Life will just get you sometimes, I guess. But right, so that's how we're gonna be hanging out. Thankfully, I'm just missing that piece of metal, which is nice. I'm gonna make a little barrier so I don't slide forward. But I don't even need a tarp. If I really wanted to, which I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take all this snow I have and build a nice little mountain. And I can honestly use the snow on the other side and do the same thing. And I don't even need to drape a tarp. I can just use the snow as a wind block, and it'll be pretty nice. The only thing I gotta watch out for is that if it does start to snow, there's no real tree coverage. So if the snow falls straight down, it's gonna get right on top of me. But if that's the case, I'll just use the snow on the side to block the snow coming in from the side, and then I'll drape my tarp across the top, and it should honestly cover me. Alright guys, so like I said, I made myself a nice little ridge up here with the snow, which that means I have a nice little snow pile blocking the wind for me, and I'm kind of tucked away, which is real nice because the wind and the ground is the #1 killer when it comes to cold. When it comes to being cold, air is not a very good conductor of temperature. That's why on days where it might be let's just say -0 or just 0, and there's lots of wind, it can feel terrible. But on days where maybe it's even -20 and there's no wind, it doesn't feel that bad, because air itself is a poor temperature conductor. Wind will take heat away from your body up to 10 to 15 times faster than air will, and water up to 20 to maybe even 40 times faster if the water's moving. So that's why we need to make sure we block the wind, because the wind is what will make us super cold and will bring us to hypothermia. Again, the air is a very poor temperature conductor, but the ground is very good at conducting. And what it will do is it will strip your body heat from you if you're touching the ground. So that's why people will say that a sleeping mat is more important than your sleeping bag when it comes to being warm. just going to cut this tree up real nice. It's fairly thick. It's going to give me a lot of good fuel wood. I'm getting kind of tired of putting little bits of wood on every 3 to 5 minutes. This will give me nice thick wood that's going to burn for 10-20 minutes for every just 1 or 2 pieces. You know, the nice thing about doing this is not only does it give me nice fuel that I can put 1 or 2 logs on every 10 minutes, but it's a physical activity that's going to make your body produce body heat, and it's going to get you from being cold to being pretty hot pretty quick. As the sun starts to set and it starts to get a little bit colder, I'm reminded that you have to remember when you start doing anything physical, even though it might seem good to feel hot and feel the body temperature rise due to the physical activity and no longer feeling cold, you need to remember to reserve yourself and not allow yourself to start to sweat, because going back to air temperature, the air temperature doesn't conduct heat as well as water, and water conducts temperature better than air, almost 20 times as good. So when you sweat, that water sits next to your skin and it takes your body heat 20 times faster than air can. So sweating is a real killer in the middle of the winter, and it's a good way to get cold. So no matter how good it feels to get your body temperature up through physical activity, if you start to sweat, you have to be reminded to slow down a little bit, stop, take a break. Alright guys, so I have a few minutes of daylight left here. As the temperature drops, we've ran into a few problems. So far, my mic has been ripped off of the clip holder and I can't find it anywhere, so I've lost my mic. Then secondly, my tripod for my camera actually broke, so now it won't stay up with my phone in it. I guess that's just what you get for buying off of Amazon. And then thirdly, my sleeping mattress has a few little nice pinprick holes in it, which now it's deflating, and I'm guessing that my cats must have got into it, so now my air mattress probably deflates about every 10 minutes. The best sleep I'm going to have tonight is probably every 10 minutes I'm going to have to wake up and re-blow up my air mattress. Well, alright guys, it's gotten pretty dark out, but I just finished making my dinner. I got a lot of sausage, some bread, some Nutella, another Molson Canadian, but fortunately my Nutella is pretty frozen and I can't get it to thaw without burning the bottle, but at least the bread's pretty good. It's got a whole lot of the sausage grease absorbed into the bread, so it's going to be pretty good. Alright guys, so it's finally time to lay down and go to bed. Probably going to put on the Olympics or something like that. It's pretty dark out. I just got a flashlight. I have no idea how pro YouTubers get good visuals at night, but this is pretty much where I'm going to be sleeping for the night. Just got my sleeping bag and my sleeping mat. My sleeping mat has some cat punctures in them, but it gives me about 10-15 minutes before I'm touching the ground. So it's not going to be too fun of a night, but it's going to get it done. It's probably going to keep me warm enough to not freeze, but it's definitely not going to be the warmest. Alright, so the sun's up. I'm not going to pretend like I just woke up. I always thought that's kind of funny when people do that on YouTube. They have the shots of them waking up and you're like, yeah, of course, you definitely just woke up with your camera recording. But I didn't sleep one bit. I totally misjudged this air mattress. It doesn't deflate every 10 minutes, it deflates probably every 3 minutes. So I kind of just laid on the ground for as long as I could with the air mattress between me, but completely deflated until I got cold. And then I would get up and do some squats, and I would blow the air mattress up and then relay. Surprisingly, the sleeping bag kept me pretty warm. I wouldn't say I was warm, where like I felt a sense of warmness, but I wasn't shivering, and I wasn't like, the cold wasn't on my mind. It was cold when I would get out of the sleeping bag, but the sleeping bag actually kept me pretty warm. But I don't know if I can say the sleeping bag kept me warm. The sleeping bag was rated for +5, and it was probably like -10, which might make it seem like the sleeping bag did an amazing job for what it's rated. But I slept with my base layer on, plus my pants and my coat and my hat and my gloves. So I had a whole winter setup underneath the sleeping bag. So, you know, I can't really say, oh yeah, something that already keeps me warm in -10, I was already wearing, and then I got inside a sleeping bag and I was still kind of warm. So I can't really say the sleeping bag itself kept me warm. I'd imagine if I didn't have my coat on or my pants and I tried to sleep in just my base layer, I probably would have been pretty cold. So anyway, instead of setting up my camera one more time and giving the outro, I guess I'll make the outro right here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you really enjoyed it. And thank you again for watching. And as always, thanks for tagging along.